A backend system starts working when a user does something on the front end, such as clicking login, searching for a product, or placing an order. That action sends a request from the front end to the backend, basically saying, here is what the user wants. The request first reaches the server, which receives it and sends it to the correct backend application, almost like a receptionist directing someone to the right department. Then the backend application runs the business logic, which means it applies the rules of the system. For example, if the user is logging in, the backend checks whether the email exists and whether the password is correct. If the user is buying something, it checks whether the item is still in stock and whether the payment can go through. To make these decisions, the backend often needs to talk to a database, which is where information is stored permanently, such as user accounts, products, orders, messages, or payments. Sometimes the backend also needs to communicate with other services through APIs. For example, they might contact Stripe to process a payment, Gmail or Twilio to send an email, or SMS, Google Maps to calculate a location, or an AI service to generate a response. Behind all of this, infrastructure keeps the system running properly. Servers host the application, containers package it, load balancers handle traffic, caches make it faster, and monitoring tools detect errors. Once the backend has processed everything, it sends a response back to the front end, usually in the form of data. The front end then uses that response to update what the user sees, such as showing login successful, displaying search results, confirming an order, or showing an error message. So from beginning to end, the backend receives the user's request, understands what needs to happen, applies the rules, reads or writes data, calls other services when needed, and returns the final answer. All the pieces connect because the front end is the visible part the user interacts with, while the back end is the hidden system that thinks, stores, checks, processes, and sends back the result.